What's up, black and white on pop culture fans? It is John Matrix, and I am back here with another video. I know it's been a while since we actually have uploaded a video. I know that Rhodes actually uploaded the Mandalorian video the other day, and it's been a while since I actually uploaded on here too. Just like Rhodes said before, the sports world is kind of up in chaos right now. We've been putting up a lot of content on the sports channel and our own personal channels, because the political situation, it's out there, folks. It's really, really crazy out there in sports and in politics, and not so much on the entertainment front. I do believe that some movie theaters have been opening, but still, for the most part, entertainment in movies is kind of like an afterthought still right now. But I'm making this video because a few days ago, we kind of got a rumor that Indiana Jones 5 actually is probably going to be dead. And if you guys don't know, that Harrison Ford is Rhodes Rant's all-time favorite actor. I love Harrison Ford. He is absolutely spectacular, They brought him back just to kill him off in the Palpatine saga with The Force Falls Asleep. And that was kind of sad right there to see Han Solo get killed off, but it is what it is at this point. And there's been a rumor about a fifth Indiana Jones movie for a while. And Kathleen Kennedy, we know her track record. She is a terrible executive in Hollywood. Actually, she's probably the worst executive in Hollywood, and actually one of the worst in Hollywood history, if you ask me. So now it looks like this whole Indiana Jones 5 thing is completely falling apart. Steven Spielberg is not going to be on as the director, but I do believe that he's still going to be hands-on as a producer in the movie. And the reason why he actually left is because they couldn't agree on a script. This Indiana Jones thing, man, has been in the works for a very, very long time. And I'm pretty sure that Kathleen Kennedy has her hands on this. Steven Spielberg, he's not coming back to the director's chair. I believe that they had actually got, who was the director for this movie now? I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. But anyway, it looks like it's actually going to not happen anymore. And I got to say this. It's time to let Indiana Jones go. It's time. It really, really is time, folks. I'm a big-time Indiana Jones fan. The first three movies I really, really did enjoy. Last Crusade is my favorite one out of the original three. And when I saw Kingdom of the Crystal Skull back in 2008, I saw it in a movie theater. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this that much. And then I watched it a couple of years ago, and I was like, you know what? It's not as bad as I remembered. Is it a great movie? No. Is it okay? Yes, it is okay. It's not great. And we know that George Lucas, he had actually made that movie with Spielberg back in 2008, and it wasn't well received. I get that. And George Lucas also is not involved anymore. So when you really don't have Lucas and Spielberg involved on this together, it's just not Indiana Jones anymore. Just like, the Palpatine saga really wasn't Star Wars anymore because there was no George Lucas involved in that. And Kathleen Kennedy got her hands all over those movies, and they were a disaster, a complete disaster. Each movie fell off more than the last, and each movie got worse. Now, I wasn't a fan of The Force Awakens at all. And The Last Jedi really sucked. And then The Rise of Palpatine was absolutely horrible. That movie series was probably that trilogy, I should say, was probably the worst trilogy in film history to me. Now, I don't want to see Indiana Jones go down the same path as Star Wars. Yeah, you may not have liked Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but it didn't destroy Indiana Jones. If Kathleen Kennedy gets her hands on Indiana Jones, all bets are off. It will be destroyed. Now, Kathleen Kennedy's contract, I believe, is actually up next year. So she actually may not even be around to make an Indiana Jones movie. And also, Harrison Ford, he's getting up there in age. Harrison Ford is, I think he's 78 years old. I mean, he looks like he's in really, really great shape. But, for him to be doing all those stunts at this point, I don't think that it's going to be likely. If anything, they should have made this movie, if they really wanted to, back in 2012 when George Lucas sold the company. But they were so focused, on getting Star Wars off the ground and making money off of that, because Star Wars is still the flagship of Lucasfilm. Indiana Jones is great, but the overall brand is still not on the same level as Star Wars to the masses, okay? But I think at this point, man, it's over. It's over. I don't even want to see it. I didn't even want to see this movie anyway, because Kathleen Kennedy was going to be involved in this movie, and she would absolutely destroy it. Harrison Ford, I believe, would still be great at Indiana Jones. I think he could still pull it off. But when you can't get stories and you got directors going again, this looks just like the Star Wars sequel trilogy all over again. It looks like a complete dumpster fire and mess. Kathleen Kennedy needs to go. If you want to make Indiana Jones, just don't do it. Nobody should be filling the shoes of Indiana Jones anymore, because you're not going to have Harrison Ford, I believe. Even though, he's supposed to be on board for this one, but remember what happened with Solo. No Harrison Ford in that movie. That movie fell apart, and that movie had many more problems than just, Alden Ehrenreich as Han Solo. I don't think you can ever truly replace Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones, unless you want to go to, I guess, his very, very early years, maybe. But I highly doubt that too, because remember, they did the same thing with Solo, and it didn't work. But that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this Indiana Jones 5? It looks like it's never going to happen, and I'm so glad that it probably won't happen, because I really, really don't want to see this movie. I don't want to see this franchise actually get butchered any more than what happened with Star Wars. It just doesn't need to happen. Let Indiana Jones go right off into the sunset, and let that be that. If Lucasfilm want to make other movies, come up with some original stuff. But, this is Hollywood. They're unoriginal. They're all caught up in nostalgia. And then they take that concept of the old and they destroy it, just like they did with Star Wars. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to Black and White on Pop Culture, and we'll catch you next time.